I'm very grateful to all of you for participating. The state of the world at the moment is challenging for everyone in so many levels. So it really does make it even more important to do this kind of practice, because it brings us in touch with that deeper state where we can feel, at least for the moment that we are contacting it, really freed up from whatever tensions that we are in the middle of. And of course, the idea is that we develop the inner muscles so that we can more and more and more, not just have a glimpse of that deeper state where you just are, very simple, and you can then immerse yourself more and more in that state, and it becomes more important than all the problems in the world, because you realize that there's something deeper than all those challenges and problems in the world and in yourself. You know, there's a source of all of this, and there's a oneness at the core of all of it. And it's possible to connect with that. And that's what we are doing in the practice. We are turning our attention inward. And I said that I was going to say something about Shaktipat and using language in the service of Shaktipat. So I will say a few words about that. You know, Shaktipat, as most of you know, is basically transmission of energy, transmission of inner energy in contact with this deeper awakening. It's a little bit like, you know, a candle that is lit being used to light another candle. So what I'm doing when I'm sitting here, and what David is doing when she's sitting here, and what those others of you who are teaching and want to teach will be doing or are doing now, is you are really extending yourself from that deeper awareness that you're in touch with. Maybe not all the time, but you have contact with it, and you are able to extend yourself from that deeper state. And that is what Shaktipat is. You are consciously inviting people to awaken to this deeper state that is already in them, but that is most of the time covered over with distraction and thoughts and worries and all kinds of tensions and patterns. And we don't have to blame ourselves for that or feel guilty about it. It just is. But it is also true that there is something deeper than that. And we are trying to cultivate an awareness of that. So, as most of you have heard, Shaktipat, you know, is transmitted in 4 different ways. It can be transmitted through the eyes, which is what we are doing in the Open Eyes class. So you are in the part 2 of the teacher training. You will be doing Open Eyes as we go forward and discovering what that is and how to maximize your positive impact on other people who come to you who want to share this deeper state. So the eyes, as you hopefully can feel in the practice that we are doing here together, is for the purpose of inviting you into this deeper state in yourself. so that the state that whoever is sitting here is in can ignite that same state in you. Gradually, slowly, or sometimes fast. The other way that Shaktipat is transmitted is through thought. When you are thinking energy extension to another person, magically, mysteriously, through contact with the higher energy field, whether you call that Akashic field or Shiva or whatever it is, through that mystery, somehow something is transmitted. An invitation to this deeper state is transmitted. And thirdly, you have the touch. Touching someone, traditionally touching a chakra and working with a person consciously to evoke this deeper awareness. That is the third form of Shaktipat. Now, the fourth form is words. It can be transmitted through words. Normally, we tend to think of words as being in the way. And that's because, as Rudy said, the mind is a slayer of the soul. So the minute we start talking, the tendency is that our mind is activated. But as we do this practice more deeply, and as we awaken within ourselves this contact with the self, it's possible to use language in a very different way. When you are, and it's not a black and white, only teachers do it and others don't do it. No, there's a whole gray progression of talking 100% from the top of your head and connected with your ego, and non-dualist or dualistic thinking that creates all kinds of problems and tensions and conflicts and debating and back and forth about things. And then there is the other, which is really speaking very quietly from that deeper state, which is to invite others to share in that state with you. And that's a different way of using language. That's using language as an invitation and as a guide, as a way of allowing the energy to speak. And I must say, I sometimes often have that experience of, well, what did I just say? I'm talking from a state that is not the top of my head. It's not my identity speaking. It's my contact with that deeper energy. So gradually, as you're growing in this practice, you are also developing that ability. And you have to be conscious of it. What is the difference? When am I talking from the top of my head and from my ego and from dualism? And when am I talking from an awareness of the deeper self and the oneness at the core of life? And, I'm not saying that so that you're going to get overly nervous about every word that comes out of your mouth. But, it's good to cultivate, as you are now growing with this practice, that you are also cultivating your awareness to be in touch with the deeper reality that you are discovering in your practice. So meditating, as you are interacting with people and as you are talking with people. And it's fully possible to get better and better and better at that as you get more and more secure in your contact with your deeper self. Rudy always used to say, in the medical nice, and when he talked after class, he said, don't listen with your mind. Just open. Just open. And by opening, you are receiving this energy. The words carry energy, and you will receive what you need, and what you need you can digest and take in. The rest of you will go out of your system. If you don't need it, it will just leave your system with the negative psychic tension release exercise. So this is important stuff, and most of you now have been practicing long enough and deeply enough that you can really start to feel this energy in yourself. And as I said, it's not a black and white, only teachers. There's all kinds of ranges of awareness among people who call themselves teachers too. So, it's not to think too much about that, but to just open to that energy as deeply as you can in yourself. And then trusting that, after having worked with a person in a lineage for a while, then you trust that, here's something real that is nourishing. And as we've said before, the point of the practice and the contact is to get filled up, not fed up. So feel yourself getting filled up with this energy and take it out into the world, whatever contact you have with the world, and allow that contact that you have to have a positive impact in whatever arena you operate. Family, business, whatever it is.